daughters, sisters, and wives. He says they're gonna change our lives. Be women, be girls. They'll make a better world. Invest in her. Invest in her. Invest in her. And now here's your host, Catherine Gray.
Welcome to the Invest in Her podcast series, where we always feature fabulous female founders and funders. And today we have on a very special guest, TV chef Cat Cora, and the co-founder of my She Angels Foundation, Cat Curry Williams. Yes, today you get 3 cats. How about that? So, wow, I'm so happy to have you both on today. We are going to talk about your incredible journey, Cat Cora,
Yes.
of how you got started as a chef. And, you know, for the 2 people on the planet that don't know you, we're going to talk a little bit about all your accolades, which is that you won Iron Chef. You were the first woman inducted into the Culinary Hall of Fame. And I specifically want to talk about that you're a restaurant owner, because you brought it to my attention that only 7 or 8% of the female chefs own their restaurants. And we're going to talk about how you're on a mission to help change that. And we're behind you 100%.
Great. I love that. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction.
So let me ask you this. I think people will be interested to know, I know, and anybody listening to you right now will probably know that you grew up in the South. As a little girl, you know, how did you get started to being a chef? And how in the world did you take a path where you now own these 18 restaurants? Like, that's got to be an interesting story that we want to hear.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a restaurant family. My godfather had restaurants. My grandfather had restaurants. I grew up in Mississippi, in the deep South, but to a Greek American family. So food and cuisine was, I grew up with 2 strong cultures in cuisine, one being Southern cooking and one being Greek cooking and Mediterranean. And, you know, I just had a huge fascination for food and cooking at an early age. And I learned a lot from my family. Were great cooks. My grandmother was an incredible baker and good. She cooked delicious food. My mom as well. And my dad was, you know, taught me how to smoke meats and marinate meats at a young age and grill. And so I just learned a whole, really, you know, a full circle of cooking from many different people. And I was very blessed that I had so many great cooks around me. And they just instilled this love of food and cooking at an early age. And then, of course, spending time in their restaurants and being around the energy of the restaurant industry and the people and the celebratory feeling you get when you're in a restaurant. I just fell in love with that. And I knew I wanted to be a chef and follow that dream.
I'm a big believer in that, what you just said. It's so celebratory to spend time with friends or family when you go to a restaurant, and you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean up, but you just get to come and have some soulful connections. I think it's so important. Gosh, COVID has impacted us so much in this arena.
It has, yeah.
Better than you as a restaurant owner. We're going to talk about that too. I mean, how has COVID impacted what's going on at your restaurants? Have you had to take obviously you've had to take your dining outside. I know you're in many states. I would think some states probably are faring better than others. How are you dealing with the COVID situation?
Well, it's been really tough. I mean, on everybody, all of my friends, all of my colleagues around the country, around the world, actually, because I have a lot of friends in different countries as well. And it's been really, we've been one of the hardest hit industries during COVID. I mean, the hospitality industry, no other industry has been hit harder than us. And I think that, you know, as you said, there are a lot of my restaurants are still closed, and there are a few that are faring better. The ones here in Santa Barbara, my burger places, you know, when you have a burger place, you know, I have 3 of them, and they can pivot very well because it's burgers and fries, and it does well with takeout and delivery. And so I think that we've moved outside. Of course, we have some inside dining now. They just lifted that to allow 25% indoor dining. But I think people are still nervous about coming inside. So we still have a lot of outdoor dining, which is great. That's helped a tremendous amount. And that
is called Mesa Burger, right?
Mesa Burger.
Mesa Burger. For
Mesa
those
Burger.
that want to try it out or come
Yeah.
visit or get a delivery. I know you're delivering to quite a few celebrities. I even got wind that Oprah deliver orders from you. Is that true?
All the time. Yeah, we just
Oh
had
my
our
God,
restaurant.
that's awesome.
We just opened our Montecito location for Mesa Burger, and it's a favorite amongst a lot of celebrities, Oprah being one of them. She orders every week. Ellen comes by, and the Lowe's, Rob Lowe and his wife come by. So we have a lot of local people that live in and about, our area who come by and enjoy it. So that's fun. And they're doing very well compared to my other restaurants and airports and stadiums and corporate dining. That's all still fairly closed down. And but it's been a really tough road for a lot of people. A lot of my friends that have very, very high fine dining, like 3-star Michelin restaurants, or, just fine dining in general. Some aren't going to come back, they've been closed indefinitely. So, it's pretty tragic what's happened, but, we all try to find the silver lining. And I know that Nicole, my wife, and I always get up in the morning as, we're eternal optimists. We get up in the morning with our 6 kids, and they go to Zoom school in every corner of the house. And, we work with what we have, and we are both, we work together because we have our business together and our company together. So we, do everything we can to connect with people, stay positive, stay, doing what we can to help others as well during this time. Because I think that, when you don't have anywhere else to turn and some of your businesses are closed, the next best thing is give back.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about how you give back, because you're great about that. Just a side note, my curiosity, any of the kids look like they're going to follow in your footsteps?
We have one of our sons, he's 13. He is a beast in the kitchen. So he definitely, and actually we have our 14-year-old who is taking a culinary class this year. So he's cooking at home during as a matter of fact, he was downstairs just now on his culinary school, his Zoom school and culinary class making gnocchi. So for the first time. So so we have 2, he's loving it. He's loving that class. So, and then there's our 13-year-old who absolutely, he'll get in there and cook for hours, and he makes everything from scratch. He's a purist.
I love it. I love that somebody's going to carry on the tradition in the family.
We do too.
Yeah. So let's talk about giving back, because you're really big on that. First of all, I want to mention that both you and Cat Kora were among the first to support my She Angels Pitch Fest. You were both on the She Angels investor panel. So grateful that you continue to be supportive of us with the foundation. And speaking of the She Angels Foundation, I want to talk about your foundation, which is called Chefs for Humanity. Now, a lot of people might not know about Chefs for Humanity. How did that get started, and what did they do? And then we'll talk about the apprenticeship through that.
Well, I founded Chefs for Humanity 16 years ago in response to this tsunami that hit Asia. And I got a lot of phone calls. At that time, 16 years ago, I think Share Our Strength was around, but there was no other chef-driven charities and foundations that had been established. So I was one of the first. And, now a lot of my, it's that, that drive my parents, my family instilled in me at a young age. So I, started that and founded it. And now a lot of my colleagues have followed in my footsteps and started their own, which I'm so proud of them as well. But Chefs for Humanity is a 3-fold mission. We are emergency feeding relief, which we've done a tremendous amount of throughout the world, here in America during some of the hurricanes, but also in Haiti during the earthquake in Haiti. And we've been in Guatemala and Ethiopia and Mozambique. And so we've been all over the world as well. And also here, we did a lot of work with Michelle Obama when she was in the administration, with President Obama for a lot of her initiatives. We were, front and center for those with her and supporting her as well. And so we've done a lot of emergency feeding relief, nutrition education in America, and also hunger relief initiatives. So, we're doing, we just try to keep doing great things in the world. We have a lot of wonderful partners And, we just, it's all about giving back. I was instilled in me at a very young age. My parents didn't have a lot of money, but they always had time to give back and made time for other people. And I just always, Nicole and I are big philanthropists in that area. We love philanthropy work, and it's really important to us.
Well, you just said, you didn't come from a lot, and that 0 to hero factor is such an inspiration to other young women that want to be chefs. I want to talk about the incredible program that you have in Chefs for Humanity, where you take someone under your wing and teach them the business. Like we said, not many female chefs own their own restaurant businesses like you do. So I love that you're paying it forward. Tell us about that program.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you asked. We really started this internship program several years ago. And again, like you were speaking about, only 7% of executive chefs and restaurant owners in America are women, which we have to change that. I mean, it's almost a stunning number, or lack of number, if you will. So we are always trying to empower women to take that step. And obviously right now it's a difficult time. I wouldn't suggest for anybody to start trying to open a restaurant now, although we did open a Mesa Burger during COVID, but we were almost halfway through with it. So we were very lucky we could get it open. But post-COVID, obviously we will continue. We've already pinpointed our next intern. We've had a couple of interns come, and they are embedded with us in our, they're here in our restaurants. They're here in our business for a week. We give them hands-on training, not only in the restaurant itself, in the front and the back. We teach them all aspects of the restaurant, but also what Nicole and I do as businesswomen is we teach them how to be businesswomen. We teach them about being a businesswoman and what that means, and how to look at a profit and loss statement, and how to make business decisions based on strategy, and not making decisions based, in a vacuum, and, all the things that we live by, each day in our business, in our company. So we really give them hands-on in multiple areas to give them a well-rounded experience with us in the internship program. And of course, post-COVID, we're really looking forward to our next intern coming and spending a week with us and learning all aspects of business.
Well, speaking of that, I invited Cat Cora on to be here today.
Hey, Cat Cora.
Hi there.
Yeah. She wants to share something with you.
Yeah, there. Cat, I am. There's a saying, Ospensky, or I forget who it is, or Gurdjieff. It says, "Continue because you must." Yeah. And each day, and in the industry that you're, in the service industry, it's devastating. And I know there's highs and lows in everybody's days these days, but that is, it's a big one, and it's a big deal for all of us. And not only just people like me who are foodies, who like to eat.
Of course.
That you're there and you're available. You are a huge inspiration to me. And I grew up.
Thank you.
Like you. I grew up like you, on a dime. My mom showed us to give back, and I'm one of 4 sisters, and one of my sisters is a chef, but in the catering, and since has moved forward from that, my sister Karen, who you've met.
Yes, yeah, I love Karen. Yeah, she cooks very well. I had some delicious food of hers.
She's an inspiration, and in so many ways, I'm grateful for all the sisters and the women who I've been around and who've been in my orbit to teach me every day. Every day I learn something new. I walk out the door and I tell my daughter, I have a 21-year-old daughter, I say, today, even if you think there's nothing, it's a low day or whatever, if you listen and your desire is to learn something new, you will learn something new, whether doesn't have to be a big moment. It's just something. And so today I want to be the person that tells you that the She Angels Foundation is going to give something new that you'll have, which is a grant to sponsor your. by our grant review committee after seeing what you do and how you help women become chefs, and we need more of them. So today's big thing is that congratulations, because you are a going to be the recipient of our next grant. And I would have a
Wow.
big check here for you.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. That's gonna help a lot of women out there. I will tell you.
Well,
Thank you.
your next person, and we're going to come and bring that to you at Mesa Burger in Santa Barbara. Soon as I get back from New York, I'm gonna go do some testing the waters out there, visit my daughter in Baltimore and in New York. So you might have to show me a few places that I can support your friends eating
Absolutely.
outside. With my umbrella, if I have to eat outside, I will.
Absolutely. We will. I can't wait for you to come. And that is such a blessing. Thank you. You guys are incredible. That's so wonderful. And that is just made my whole week. So whole month. So thank you.
Well, it makes
Thank you.
ours
Thank
too.
you from the bottom of our heart.
Oh, you are so welcome. And, you know, we're so excited that you're going to select someone to be in with the grant, to select someone that's going to come spend the week with you to learn not only about being a female chef, but about being a restaurant owner. And that is super exciting to us. And we hope to follow that person's journey to success. How would somebody apply? Would they go to chefsforhumanity.org?
Yep. They can go to catkora.com and they'll see our homepage for Chefs for Humanity, and they can, get in touch with Nicole. Her information is right there. And absolutely. So I'd say go to catkora.com and then go straight to our page and sign up.
I love it. So you're going to help mold the next woman, female chef business owner. I love it.
That's our goal. That's our dream and goal. So we definitely will. And that grant is going to help us tremendously to be able to make somebody else's dreams come true. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
our family teaches us well, I think, when they have little and they give a lot. And it's always inspired me. I've always seen that. I always feel like some places that we get that from. My husband didn't have much money. I'm like, what are you doing? When he was just my boyfriend, I was like, what are you doing? He said, I'm writing a check to the, and I'm like, well, you're bartending and you barely have enough money for school. And so like, my parents taught me that. And I was, that moment,
he was writing checks to charities, right?
Writing checks to charities. And This is 26 years ago. And I knew.
Amazing.
It's like we share DNA. Everything that you say, we are one. And I look forward to the days where that becomes the awakening to the whole planet, that we share DNA. It's just what we do. It is my belief. So
that's what I love about you two. And I've always appreciated you both being involved with She Angels, is that you're both successful but give back type of women. And I believe when like-minded women that are powerful but altruistic come together, wow, we are unstoppable in helping the world a little better place.
That's right.
And
fierce.
That's why we want people to join SheAngelsFoundation.org to work with all of us in helping to get behind female-founded nonprofits that are helping to perpetuate the growth of women, like the Chefs for Humanity program. And we hope that people will visit us there. And then, of course, with the She Angels Pitch Fest and TV series that we're looking to launch, that's another way that we get behind women, because we all know women are super underfunded. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
We get less than 15% of the funding. We're 50% of the population. We need to get at least 50% of the funding, right, ladies?
That's right. Absolutely.
I'd love to share, if anybody out there has XM radio, there's a series on XM videos called The Helpers, and Catherine and I were just interviewed by them for the grants that we've been able to give thus far. And so if you can find your Sirius XM radio videos, the Helpers,
they're on their app.
It's on their app, and they do a great series on people that are helping out, especially during COVID times and beyond. interviewers and kids that are doing good things. So it's
Amazing.
it's a thing to check out.
So, Kat, somebody is out there listening. They want to become a chef and a restaurant owner. What are your words of advice to them besides, of course, applying for your apprenticeship at catkora.com? What else would you suggest they do? Like, what are the words of wisdom that you share with other female chefs that want to own their own restaurant? And even though right now might not be the time, you know, even if they want to launch it next year, because let's face it, everything will rebound. It will come back.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will be post-COVID. I think the biggest advice I can say is to get as much experience as possible. If you're brand new to the industry, I would say start, internship, get a job in a restaurant, the style that you want to be a part of. If it's fast casual, like a burger place, like a Mesa Burger, come apply with us. If it's something that's, more fine dining, then, apply to a place that you feel like you're going to get really good basic foundation of the culinary world. And I think you'll get the experience start getting the experience that you need. If you want to go even deeper and do a deeper dive, you can always apply to a culinary school like the Culinary Institute of America. Right now, I'm not sure what the state of their situation is, whether it's all online or there's, a little hybrid going on. And there's a few of these in each city. I think there's one in New York, San Antonio. So I would say, and there's other great schools as well, but that's where I went. So of course I'm partial to the Culinary Institute of America. But I would say get a culinary education if you want to do an even deeper dive. But just knocking on the door of your favorite restaurant and seeing if you can start getting in the kitchen and cooking and, getting a job and getting experience. I mean, there's nothing like school is amazing. I always recommend education, but there's also the route of just on-the-job training. And I think that is the first thing is know what you're getting into. Know that this is something you really, truly love. I tell people if you can handle the work day, you can handle the workload, you can handle working on weekends and holidays, and you still love it after that, then this is probably the job for you. If you don't like it, maybe try something else because it is a tough business, although it's super rewarding once you really get involved and you really get into it and the business. It has, to me, been the best career choice that I could have ever made for my life and for me. So that's what I would say. Get on the job training or go to a culinary school or both.
And before we go, I just have one question I think that would be in the minds of people. It would be in my mind anyway. I know you said you didn't come from a lot and yet you've built up this empire. Like, how did you go about I would imagine as a female chef that wants to start her own business, she's thinking, where do I get the funding? Was that something that came after your TV fame, or how did you get funding for your very first restaurant? Is that something?
Well, it was just, I actually did a little bit different route to get to where I was, only because it's the way that it happened. I actually I was a chef, executive chef, and I was a profit sharing partner at several restaurants. I opened some restaurants for other people and we're working for them as an executive chef. And then of course I got profit sharing from that as well, being a part of it. And then I want to interrupt
you there. I wonder if many women ask for the profit sharing. I think that's a great piece of it.
That's a great point. They should ask for that. If they've been there for a certain amount of time or they're executive chefs and they are opening the restaurant and they're going to be running it day to day, they should ask for a profit sharing piece of the restaurant. That doesn't mean you have equity, which means you're a true owner, but it does mean you get whatever the profit, the gross profits and sales of that restaurant, you get a part of that. You get to share in the profit, which builds, for me, it's a great incentive. And for restaurant owners, it's a great incentive to give that to your general manager and your executive chef. We do that with all of our restaurants. We incentivize our management, our top management, our executive chefs, our sous chefs, our general managers. We incentivize them in a bonus structure, so that they have to hit certain marks, but if they hit those marks, they get a bonus, for every, mark they hit. And so I think that those are things to take in consideration as owners. if you have really good people, invest in your team. I mean, invest in them to keep them, because it is very tough to find great, solid, talented people. So anytime I find somebody that is passion driven, amazing, responsible, accountable, all of those things, and you can trust them and they're loyal to you, you should incentivize them. So for owners out there, absolutely do that. And for people, for women, you know, speaking to women, especially women executive chefs, if you're running a restaurant day to day, you should be going to your owners and your bosses and saying, I want a piece of the pie. Give me a slice, give me a little slice here.
I love
and
that.
let me. Yeah, that is a really good point, Catherine, for sure. And I think that, you know, really that's how I did it. So then all of a sudden, you know, it's just tenacity. You know, I did a little cooking show in San Francisco, little local show. And I said, oh, I love doing this, you know, and I got the tape. I sent it to Food Network, and somebody called me about a month later. They said, we want you to do a couple of guest things. You were really great on that. So it takes tenacity. You got to think outside the box. I'm always thinking about outside of the box, and always, what else can I be doing? How can I make myself valuable to somebody? What do I have? What skills do I have? And what passion do I have where I can think outside the box to make myself valuable to somebody? So that was just tenacity. That was just determination, saying, I love doing this. I'm going to grab that tape from them of my performance, and I'm going to send it to the Food Network, and I'm going to see what happens. All anybody can say is no. And the doors opened. I got a TV show from it. I worked hard. I got a TV show hosting job. And so the TV part, and then shortly after that, I got a commercial. And shortly after that, I got a cookbook deal. So it kind of, all the planets aligned, but it took a lot of determination and tenacity, and I took risks. And I wasn't afraid to take risks, and I wasn't afraid to be vulnerable and put myself out there. And I could have been rejected. And in this situation, and I have been, believe me, I've had a lot of doors close on me, and I've had a lot of rejections, but you know what? I keep getting up and I try a new door. And I think,
they say it's not how many times you go down, it's how many times you get up. And I love that advice, because a lot of times people will get a no and then they'll just be depleted and walk away. But what you're saying is so true, that people like yourself that are successful women, they have gotten a lot of rejections, but it only takes one or two yeses. And
that's it.
That tenacity of keep taking the actions and keep setting yourself apart, and that tenacity, I agree with you 100%. That is what sets people apart. So thank you for that inspiration.
Thinking outside the box. And it really only takes, like you said, it only takes one person to believe in you. One person. Yeah. And it may be in different parts of your life. That one person might have been 10 years ago for me. That one person may be 10 years from now. You know, you just never know. It only takes one person to say yes and to take a chance on you and believe in you. So you got to keep getting up and getting out there and putting yourself out there, and don't be afraid to take risks.
Yes. And you both are an inspiration to me. You both said yes to me when I launched She Angels Pitch Fest, and I'm forever grateful to both of you. And let's both keep saying yes to other women and helping them. And I appreciate what an inspiration you guys are. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're so busy. Appreciate you jumping on here today. People can follow you at Cat Cora on social media. They can follow us at She Angels, of course. And we really appreciate everybody tuning in today.
She Angels Foundation.
Yes, She Angels Foundation as well is on Facebook, and we would love to have you all join the three of us in membership as we help lift women up. Thank you so much. Make it a great week. Thank you both. Remember to invest in her and make it a great week.
Thank you. You're both so inspiring to us too, and thank you again for the grant. That was amazing.
All right. Thanks, ladies. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Our theme music was created and produced by Lindsay Tomasic.